Hey everyone, this isn't going to be one of those fun or uplifting videos. This is going to be a little bit of a downer. This is going to be a little bit of that accountability type video because I must come clean and say that have not been meeting the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of this endeavor. I said I wanted to be frequent with my post, daily, weekly were my goals, and I haven't met that. And it's been because I haven't been meeting my in person goals as well that I set for myself when I started this. I made a lot of progress to figure out why and to identify problems, but the actually getting up every day and implementing the solutions is it's very difficult. And I'll be completely frank. Last year, pretty much almost exactly a year ago to the previous Monday, so on August 10th, my mom passed away. And I entered this survival mode where I listed the tasks that needed to be done to get to the next day, to get her buried and clear out her house and sell it and do the things that I had to do. My work also changed a large bit of my life during that same process, so I've been surviving, and it's almost weird. I'm hitting this stage where I'm so used to surviving that I don't really. It's hard for me to understand beyond the surviving and to get back to the point where I'm proactively looking for ways to improve my current position. Instead, I'm focused on making sure that my current position does not degrade further. And I want to get past that stage, but a lot of I think that takes a lot of mental energy, a lot of self awareness, and frankly, I don't think that this survival instinct, to call it that, or this survival mechanism, has arisen strictly from my mom's passing. Uh, I don't know if you've seen the news, but currently there's a ship, the USS Lincoln, aircraft carrier. It's been hasn't pulled into port in 260 days. Numbers a little fluid depending on like the news articles. Some of them were also saying like just 200, but they've been out to sea for a while. And back in 2020, I had a similar circumstance where I was on a Navy vessel. I was in the Navy back then, and my ship was out to sea for over 200 days. That's no port calls. That's during COVID, from January to August, just floating. And I think looking back at my motivations and what I wanted to do and where I've been over the past 6 years, especially the past, yeah, it's been 6 years since I drove away that from that pier and never came back to the active duty Navy. And I look at that, and I was able to finish my bachelor's. I was about 2 years. I had to put like 3 semesters in after I got out to do that, and I finished that a year after, like in 2021. So like, yeah, I improved a little bit, but ever since that, I've found some jobs. I'm proud of the jobs that I've held, but I haven't made the significant progress in the past since that degree 5 years ago. I need to do more. It's not to say I haven't done anything. It's just there was a time where I was I did a 4-year enlistment in the Navy. I did a 4-year degree in 6 years. I was hard charging. I was looking forward to the future, and I was able to accomplish that. And looking back at the past 5 years of how much output I've been putting out, compared to that, like I've slumped. And I think that I haven't done the work that I need to do to get in the right headspace to make that kind of growth in my personal life, my professional life, my education. I haven't been putting in that work to get past the mental blocks of just survivorship of the circumstances that I've been in. And that everyone's always going to be in some kind of circumstances, and you can either survive through it or you can grow and become something better. And I do want to achieve that higher level of growth that I was aiming for before 2020, before that 8 months. And, I'm thinking to, how those sailors are, because they just announced on some articles that that boat's coming back. And I'm thinking, what would I say to those sailors who, they just are experiencing this. They've gone for 260 days at sea. Some of them might be like me, getting out of the Navy pretty soon here after that, or they might be staying in, but they have shore duty, or they want to accomplish more things in their life. What would I tell them? And I'd tell them that there's a huge shift when you step onto that pier. If once you go past the quarterdeck, you step over the brow, and you're on that pier, your whole life is going to change from what it's been the past year of the work, sleep, eat. If you can make all your meals, because sometimes you miss a couple because mid rats or whatever. For the non-Navy folk, that's going to be hard to comprehend. But what would I tell them? I'm like, your life is completely different now. And you have to flip that switch from, okay, I need to get through this, to I need to fulfill this. This day needs to be as positive and as full of good things as possible, right? Because like when you're in this scenario where you're just trying to get back home, you lose a lot of ability to progress. Like, yeah, maybe you could take some online classes, maybe if you can get enough internet out while you're out there. Maybe you could, take some correspondence classes and then mail them in whenever. You can make some progress while you're out there. You can get some qualifications for your Navy career, or take some classes about getting ready to get out, over like some like learning management program. Like, yeah, you could do that, but you're not going to be able to make the significant amount of changes in your life. You're not going to be able to progress your relationships that you had to leave when you left. And that was a big one for me, right? Obviously, I left people behind when I went on that deployment. And your relationships become secondary in a large part to the Navy when you are gone, when you're separated. It's how do you come back, and how do you progress those relationships in a meaningful way? Because I'll be honest, I didn't. I started taking that mentality of, hey, I need to survive, I need to get through this next thing. And I brought that into my relationships. And I wasn't putting in the work or the mental effort that I needed to make these relationships better, whether that be romantic relationships or with my family or my friends. And I'll be honest, I'm 29. It's not over for me, right? Like, I still have time to adjust. We all have time to adjust, whether you're 29 or 69. There's always time to adjust and develop. But compared to when you're in your early 20s, when you're 22, 24, and you're looking at all of your different options, the belt is tightening, right? Like realistically, I need to start looking at like seriously like progressing relationships and having kids and you know making entering that part of my life where I make the most money that I will so I can have a good safe solid retirement. I haven't been slacking on those fronts, but like this is the time where I need to hunker down and really advance, right? Cuz like there's only so much growth you can make after 40, right? Like, yeah, there's people who have had significant changes, but you look at the trajectory of most people, right? Their foundational steps pretty much all happen before they're 35 when it comes to education, right? Like, what's the good of a master's degree if I mean, for the fields that I'm in, for the fields that I'm pursuing, I want to maximize this opportunity, get a master's, and full steam ahead before I'm 35. And I understand that there's some fields where that's different, where I'm not. What I don't want to say is like, hey, you're 47, don't get your master's in nursing, because I know that when you're a nurse and you have 20 some years of experience and you get that master's, that's going to open up a lot of doors for you. And yeah, I could get my master's when I'm 47. I could. But right now, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. This is the time where I want to get mine, because I know that in this stage of my life, I have less responsibilities. It's easier, and I can have it for longer and make more of an impact with the degrees that I do get. I'm not saying that I wouldn't get a degree when I'm 47. Heck, I hope I do. I hope I get another degree when I'm 47, 50. I want to keep learning. I want to be a lifelong learner. But I want to do it as quick as possible, because nothing's guaranteed. Um, Heck, just being honest, the last generation of my family, like my parents and their brothers and sisters, none of them made it past 65. It means I know, like, if I take care of myself and this and that, and you never know, right? But you look at you do divide by 2, 32.5. I'm 3 years away from that. So these are the things that I'm thinking about, that I want to make a change in my life right now to make sure that I'm maximizing that 30 years, that 35 years, 36 years, I guess, if you want to just go from the baseline high watermark there. So I guess right now I'm going to try to salvage this day, make the most of it, get a couple things done. First thing I'm going to do is go to the gym, and I'm going to contemplate some of the things that I've been thinking about today, right? Take some time and dwell on that, right? Because I don't want to be in this level of survivor mentality, right? And right now I've stabilized enough. I have one move. I'm moving in 45 days, right? But that doesn't mean I can sit here and just dwell about it and think about it for 45 days. I have 45 days where I have to prepare to move, but I also need to start realistically advancing some of the other parts of my life besides just moving from point A to point B, right? Like, yeah, I could sit here and relax and do calming activities, or I can get boots on the ground and get at it, right? Like, there's 45 days. I'm in a studio apartment right now. I don't need 45 days to prepare for that move. What I can use that time for and the things that I can progress and do during those 45 days, that's what I need to focus on. Realistically, I could pack this whole place up in the afternoon, 5 hours. Should I do it a couple days before? Absolutely. But that still leaves 40 some days. So I've made some of the progress before. I have my ideal schedule down. What do I want to do? When do I wake up? What do I do? When do I work out? Right? What do I eat? Right? Like, I've done the basic assessment of like, where am I health wise, right? What do I need to do to my body? What do I need to do financially? What do I need to do spiritually? I have the baseline written down, and I do plan to make some videos on what that looked like. I have some draft like videos of me talking that out. I want to give it a lot more thought and clean it up before I push it out, but I got to get at it, you know, because there's the times where, like, yeah, I've had some struggles that I needed to fix and address. I had those things that I needed to fix and address. I got through those. Now I gotta keep pushing, right? Not surviving. I need to be thriving. I need to be expanding and learning and preparing, right? Because I don't think I was mentally prepared for the difficult times, right? Like, I wasn't building my resiliency before those struggles. And that's a lesson that I want to continue, right? Like, okay, what happens if I get hurt, can't go to work for 6 months? I want to be spiritually, mentally, financially ready for that. You know, I want to be ready for those circumstances that you can't control for, right? Like, what if something traumatic happens to someone that I care for? Can I be there for them with the full capacity of what I can do, what I can be? So those are the things that I'm working to address. First things first, one of the things I assessed was I need to be building my physical readiness, right? So I got this protein powder. I'm gonna put it in some water. But I'm gonna go down to the gym, right? Because that was one of the things. Oh, and they give you a nice little scooper. I had a spoon ready, but you know, and I know this is a little bit performative, right? I know it's a little bit of a, oh my gosh, this is massive. I've never been this guy, but this is something where I want to get a certain score when it comes to a certain physical test because I want to be ready, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put this in there and have at it, right? And I know that this might not apply to everyone. Everyone might not be on the same journey I'm on, right, where they want their body to be. But I took, oh my god, this stuff looks disgusting. I don't know how the gym bros do it and everything, right? So you know, I'm not trying to be performative. This is just it's part of what I want to do. It's part of who I want to be. I don't think I'm doing this right. I just put it in with water. Maybe it's just meant to be disgusting, right? But I want to take some steps here. We need to take some small steps. And I know that I should be in a better physical shape. I should care a little bit more about what I look like, but what I can carry, what I can lift, you know, like I know like a lot of my history comes from the military, right? And I know where I stand with the physical readiness. I know I'm not in the outstanding high situation, right? Excellent low, good high is where I'm like resting right now. And I know I can do better, so I want to use healthy energy, right? Like the days I wake up and I work out, I feel 10 times better for the mental stuff, for the physical stuff, for everything, right? That's what I want to do. So, you know, getting into that gym culture and being able to do the 80 push-ups and to run the 1.5 miles in like 9 minutes around there, right? Like I know, yeah, it's 6-minute mile. That's crazy, right? There's like that weirdo dude on Instagram I keep seeing. He's always talking about like 6-minute miles, yeah, and all that. That's if you know, you know. That's like I've been laughing at that. But also, I need to stop watching that because that's a waste of time, right? That's a whole nother thing. But I think going to the gym, getting physically active, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. So I'm gonna do the thing, right? So I'm gonna drink this nasty looking thing, because it's got a bunch of protein in it, and like, yeah, I know. Should I also be eating meat. And honestly, I think the diet part is the part that I'm really knocking out, right? Because it's one of those like I think related to like the survival thing, right? Like you need to eat to survive, and I've been really focused on eating healthy and lean meat and vegetables. Um, and like I fully intend on breaking down like where I'm at physically in a next video. Maybe I'm gonna start focusing on those pillars that I talked about in the first video. But that's something that I've been really succeeding with is the food with like the grass looking the green, eating more greens, and not snacking. In fact, when I snack, I've been eating spinach leaves at work, and people have been laughing. But when you're eating spinach leaves versus potato chips, you want to be eating your spinach leaves, right? So laughs on them a little bit. I mean, they're also pretty healthy at work, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna chug this thing down. That is awful. Actually, that's not too bad. Actually, it's chalky, but I'm definitely not a brand sponsor with my three subscribers. But if you're curious, it's the Whey vanilla from Lidl. If you're on the East Coast, that's what it is. It's not horrible for like someone who doesn't do this. I think some of it got stuck at the bottom, like vigorously stirring. Sorry if that's like coming up on the audio, but yeah, that's where I'm gonna try to focus on today. I got a bunch of other goals like administrative work that I want to do and accomplish, and then work's gonna be pretty crazy this week. I got some qualifications that I need to do for work with the oral board on Wednesday, so been leaning into that, but we're gonna make some progress. I have some time sensitive goals that I want to achieve, some budgeting goals that I want to like really hammer out. But I'm excited for it. I know I have failed the past 21 days, right? I have not achieved what I set out on day one. And part of that is I don't think what I put on paper was completely smart. It was an attainable, reachable, goal, right? But also part of it is I just lost my motivation. I lost my energy. You know, I've been living in that. Let's get through the day. Doesn't matter what you do with it as long as you finish it. And you only get so many days on this planet. I don't want to live like that anymore. I really don't. Um, and that's it. I know this is probably starting to turn a little bit into a ramble, but I needed to get that out there, get that into the universe. I'm gonna hit the pavement down there, and we're gonna go pretty heavy. So get some of that frustration out. Yeah, thanks for joining and subscribing to this. If you subscribed, I really appreciate it. Um, I'll be honest, right? When I logged back in and I saw 3 subscribers and I saw some of the comments, I was shocked, right? Like, I'm just a dude rambling at a camera about how he wants to improve his life, and 3 people in the course of pretty much a week, right? Like, if I made post on week 2 and 3, like beginning of those weeks, this is week 4 now when you think about it. But that was really week 1, and 3 people said, "Hey, I think this guy is worth watching." Um, it means a lot. And if there's anything you'd ever want to comment in the comments, like I think y'all 3 are probably some of the better people on the internet. you know, Not to say that I brought y'all together, but like if you're the kind of person who subscribes to this, like you're probably great and probably better than me, to be honest, right? Like I try to support smaller channels and support projects that like I appreciate, but I'm literally just a dude talking about how he wants to improve his life. And the fact that y'all stopped and took some time out of your day to watch and listen, it really does mean a lot. So I'm going to try to live up to what I said that I was going to do for you guys, and for myself, but also because I have some accountability there. So I hope that y'all have a great day. I'm still deciding on what format I want these videos to be in, whether they're weekly, which might be more attainable, or daily, or maybe a little like a couple days a week, just to keep it more attainable. But I'm definitely going to stick to weekly going out, right? Like especially the Sundays, reflecting on what I've done and what I need to do, what progress has been made, what progress needs to be done. I think it helps a lot to do these on Sunday. So I'm going to keep doing that. That's what I'm like saying on paper. Yes, I'm doing these videos once a week. And just like the check-in style, like this. But I also want to make breakdowns of how to improve different factors of life, right? Like I discussed in the first video, talking about the financial health, talking about like the mental health and like the physical health, and like going through all of those different aspects of life. And then also smart and achievable goals, like attainable goals, like the SMART goals. I want to discuss those and how to set those. And then also just like, how do you find enough time in the day? Like these are all, I got like 8 topics written down. Those are all of them, right? Where I do want to break those down into separate videos. And I got some great feedback from one of the subscribers. So I'm going to incorporate that in the videos. But this thing's starting to kick in, I guess. I don't know. Probably. I think that's how it works. All the gym boys are always, the gym bros are always like, oh man, my protein's kicking in. So I'm gonna go see what that's all about. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope that whatever you all are going through, that that you have a productive week, and that you make progress towards your goals as well. And stay motivated, because y'all motivate me, so y'all stay motivated as well. Thanks, guys.